It is exactly 9:32. It is, of course, news and views on Salam Media. Our next guest is Jerchi Tanoh. He is a Ghanaian social activist, political economist, and former head of the political economy unit at Third World Network Africa. He's here to talk to us about calling for the cancellation of the Israeli Film Festival, which was meant to be held in Ghana. And they are saying that Ghanaians unite to oppose Israeli Festival amid genocide in Gaza and in support of a free Palestine. A very good morning to you, Jerchi Tanoh. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Okay, so this film festival was to be hosted at the Silverbird Cinema at the Accra Mall from the 16th of September onwards. Talk to us about the collaborators that have come together and has decided to say, not in our name, they're not going to allow this festival to go ahead.
Well, there's a whole range of a very diverse group of people who've come together. And as you said, at the moment, there's over 600 organizations and individuals. And both the organizations and individuals reflect that diversity, from women's liberation organizations, from trade unions to, media activists and so on and so forth. We have human rights defenders, we have anti-imperialists, we have socialists, a whole range of different people, environmentalists, and so on and so forth, and a strong constituency from the creative world, filmmakers, broadcasters, and so on, writers, and so on. And I think that at this point in time, especially even for those who are, if you like, more regularly centrist, liberal-minded, at this point in time, when even organizations like the United Nations are underlining and confirming the fact that what is going on in Gaza and in Palestine is nothing less than genocide. It is tearing a lot of people. We see even mainstream, very commercially minded, profit-oriented entities like the Hollywood circuits, people coming out, filmmakers, TV makers, who that whole fraternity coming out, increasingly dissociating themselves from the state of Israel and all its activities. So if in the middle of that, we find that in a major African city, there are African entities, companies from Africa. Silverbird itself is a Nigerian company, I believe. Kempinski Hotel, which is a company which has very strong shares from people in the Middle East. I'm not necessarily suggesting for a minute that where you come from, geopolitics. We see the shameful behavior of the governments across the Middle East, both in terms of effectively that kind of cowardice that they're showing. So I'm not suggesting for a moment that simply being Middle East or Arab will be is enough to define where your stance is. But basically, I think that there's a real diversity, and I think that it gives us a chance to elevate the solidarity against Palestine, to raise anti-imperialist politics to a new level, and to build a stronger mass movement against this.
And good for all of you. The festival was meant to have started 2 days ago. As you and I speak this morning, is it still happening, or has it actually been cancelled totally?
Unfortunately, it is happening. It started, the public side of the event started last night. We were there to picket. We were there as well on the day before, which was an invitation-only event restricted to the bosses and diplomats and government types and so on and so forth. But what is clear is that a number of things have happened, even though it's still going on. It's limping on, I think, is the best way to describe it. It's been dealt some blows, but not a mortal enough blow just yet. The whole gamut, the whole Ghanaian filmmakers have pulled out. All those whose work was part of the festival have pulled their films out of the festival. Major sponsors are deserting the ranks, including Kempinski Hotel that I just mentioned a while ago. In that sense, probably it's factually inaccurate for me to have mentioned them right now at this point in time, although they were originally listed as sponsors. And of course, there's an increasing media activism. Now, that's a significant thing here in Ghana because the media is part of the media circuit, at least the official media organization, okay, the journalists are very strongly influenced by Western embassies. Okay, so it's part of the soft power of these embassies in terms of their training programs, in terms of their scholarships, and it is also obviously the pressure that they get from corporate interests in terms of advertising and so on. And a lot of that soft power has been used to back the state of Israel and the Israeli embassy here in Ghana. Unfortunately, we do have one here in Ghana. So for some of them to begin to break ranks, I mean, at potential cost, and as a result, a growing groundswell emerging. I think those are, we are not, those are victories. Okay, everything that has happened in terms of the pressure on the sponsors, in terms of the picketing, in terms of the withdrawal by Ghanaian filmmakers, and so on, is a victory. But the point is to elevate it a bit more. For example, if in the cinema itself we had a strong, cinema workers union and so on and so forth, and if our own campaign was more strongly rooted in workers' organizations, it would be workers can shut down any film from showing in the same way as they can shut down arms deliveries or supplies to Israel, whether it's in the port of Durban or ORT in Johannesburg or here in Accra or whatever it is. So we are learning our lessons. Our campaign needs to be stronger. Our organization needs to be more mass-based. It ought to be more class-oriented in terms of rooting itself in the organizations and in the life circuits of the exploited on the oppressed. Because not only are we exploited and oppressed and imposed upon by imperialism, but we also have the power to fight back because we provide the lifeblood of the system itself. And I did mention all these international companies and international entities who are behind this. And it's important that we also recognize that our own struggle has to be internationalized. So I'm very grateful to you from in South Africa for giving us this oxygen of publicity and also as an act of solidarity with what we're doing here in Ghana. And we hope it will inspire the activism in South Africa to take yet another step forward.
And we salute you and your organization for taking such a principled stance at, putting pressure on the different players to cancel the Israeli Film Festival. How long was it meant to run for? It started 2 days ago. For how long was it meant to run?
It is meant to run till tomorrow. So we'll be there again, hopefully in larger numbers tonight. Our job is to weaken them as much as possible, to delegitimize them as much as possible, to get to the point where the organizers might feel that they can't go on or there's too much of a cost, there's too much of a hassle. The same way that we found sponsors withdrawing from the event and so on. So we continue. We soldier on, but not simply hoping to do the same over and over again. At every stage, trying to innovate. At every stage, trying to strengthen, bring greater numbers. At every stage, having a sharper political case to make. And at every stage, trying to reach new constituencies. The workers those who come around the whole arena, the public, and so on and so forth. And on that basis, build from there. October 7th, the 2 years since this carnage started, is just around the corner. We hope that we are going to build on what we're doing now to have some serious commemorative events that become moments where there's a breakthrough in terms of a new breakthrough in terms of the movement here in Ghana.
It's very encouraging to hear that despite your own political issues in your part of the world, that you can you have the humanity within you to truly speak up for the people of Palestine and for the horrific genocide that is being perpetrated upon them by apartheid Israel. So we do salute you and keep up the amazing work. Jerchi Tanoh, Ghanaian social activist, political economist, and former head of the political economy unit at Third World Network Africa. Thank you indeed for your time, and God bless.
Thank you so much for having us. Solidarity. Thank you.
Absolutely. 9:41, news and views moving along to our final interview of the morning, and that will be on a very important issue, and that, of course, is World's Week. How many of us have got our affairs in order? How many of us think that we'll do it tomorrow? Well, tomorrow might just be too late. We're going to be talking with Yasin Badat. He is with Achiever Group Financial Investment Advisor at Liberty Group South Africa. So please stand by for National Wills Week. And of course, a lot of companies are offering a free service for people to prepare their valid wills.